work with me on this, okay?
Okay, well, make sense, though, please.
No, I'm going to help you so much tonight. So at the end of the day...
Good luck with that.
In a fiery and fast-moving panel discussion on Abby Phillipps' show, Anna Navarro and Abby Phillip challenged conservative commentators Kevin O'Leary and Ben Ferguson over the latest developments surrounding the Epstein case and the renewed scrutiny involving former President Donald Trump. The conversation quickly escalated as each side presented sharply contrasting perspectives on what these new revelations actually mean, how the public should interpret them, and why accountability and transparency still matter. Throughout the exchange, Navarro and Phillip pressed for clarity, while Ferguson and O'Leary pushed back, creating a tense but compelling on-air moment. In today's breakdown, I'll walk you through the key highlights of this debate, the arguments that stood out, and what this conversation signals for the broader political landscape. Let's dive into the full discussion and unpack what really happened.
Donald Trump has been trying for months to keep the Epstein files hidden, and tonight we are starting to understand exactly why. A new trove of the sex trafficker's emails show many mention President Trump. In 2011, Epstein wrote to his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, quote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump." He goes on to say that a victim spent hours with Trump at Epstein's home. Republicans argue that the redacted name was Virginia Giuffre, who did not accuse Trump of wrongdoing, calling it a fake narrative. In another email from 2019, Epstein says that Trump, quote, "knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop." In 2018, after news broke of Michael Cohen implicating Trump in a hush money scheme, Epstein wrote that he knew, quote, "how dirty Donald is." And now Democrats in the House Oversight Committee released the emails, which the White House says don't prove anything.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. This administration has done more with respect to transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein than any administration ever.
And I should note that we are about to see Trump live as he signs the bill that will end the government shutdown. And it's safe to say he will face questions, although the question remains whether or not he actually answers them. Now, to these Epstein files, this is one of the things that it seems like the Trump administration has been concerned about. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working so hard, convening a Situation Room meeting today in order to deal with it. But what do you think, Charles, that it does show? Because, I mean, I think his name is there.
Absolutely.
But obviously, there's no hard proof of any actual wrongdoing.
In a different world, it's exactly what you just said. There's no proof that he's committed a crime. Nobody's accused him of committing a crime. There's just an association in the emails that we've seen so far. Now, there is a question about whether or not, if you knew something was happening, you knew something was untoward, you knew about it, whether or not you had a moral duty to report that to someone or not. Now, there is a question about that. But because Donald Trump is acting like a thief in church and panicking about this and acting like a guilty person, it makes people perk up and say, what is this about? Why are you behaving this way about these files if there is nothing in it that would implicate you in a negative way and harm you politically or otherwise? Because he's acting that way, I think more people are interested in this. More people look at this and say, we want all of these files released because you are behaving like a person who's guilty.
Ben?
I wish you guys gave this much thought and much obsession over this when Joe Biden was president. I wish you were asking for this much transparency when it wasn't about attacking a president of the United States of America and to score political points. I wish you guys cared about the victims as much as you care about trying to attack Donald Trump. When CNN's own reporting says, and I quote, "The woman who is the survivor literally accused Democrats, not Republicans, of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong."
You're talking about Virginia Giuffre.
Correct.
Who we just talked about.
And my point is,
she died by, just to be clear, she died by suicide.
But, she accused Democrats when she was alive, her words, of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong. That is how sick and partisan this has become. You guys didn't care about the victims. You didn't care about anything else. And now you're saying, well, maybe Donald Trump knew of a crime and maybe didn't report it. That's just straight up slander and libel.
No, it's not slander and libel.
You're telling the. You just said that the president.
I let you finish.
Watched a crime.
You turn that glove. Turn that glove inside out.
Can I just clear one thing up because I think this is important. I don't want this misinformation to be out there. When Virginia Giuffre said that Trump had not done anything wrong, she was not accusing. The Republicans accused Democrats of withholding her name for that reason. She just separately said that she did not see Trump do anything untoward. That's the
quote. And so I go back to the point he made, which is that he said,
because I don't want people to think that it was that she was responding to Democrats, which she was not. But go ahead.
Here's the thing. First of all, Joe Biden was not on the plane. He was not at the island. Well, there you go. Jump to another subject. Was not on the plane. Was not there. Everybody say, well, Joe Biden didn't do whatever. The Democrats were never saying don't release. The Republicans now are saying, don't release.
That's not true. I've said release it.
I'm sorry.
I say consistent. I have no problem release it. Release all of it as long as you protect the
ironically, the reason this is such an issue right now is because Republicans campaigned on it and made it a big issue. Frankly, shame on the Biden DOJ for not having been more proactive.
Thank you.
And thank you to the Republicans, the manosphere, all of the blogosphere, the Republican right wing who spent the campaign making this into a big issue.
And I'd say now, release it. As long as you protect the victims, release it as much as you can.
During the exchange, Ben Ferguson made a remark that immediately raised concerns, prompting Abby Phillip to step in and clarify the record. Moments like this highlight why her approach is so important. She consistently pauses the conversation to correct statements that may mislead viewers or misrepresent key facts. It's a level of accountability that is often needed when guests present claims that lack context or accuracy. Ferguson, along with other frequent conservative panelists, has a pattern of framing issues in ways that can obscure the realities faced by the individuals at the center of these stories, including victims. This is why Phillip's real-time fact-checking stands out. It ensures the conversation stays grounded in verified information rather than speculation or rhetoric. Watching her navigate these challenging moments underscores the vital role responsible journalism plays in discussions that impact public understanding.
No one cares about the victims. The whole exercise.
The Democratic Party did not care about Jeffrey Epstein until it's politically expedient to go after Donald Trump, which is why we started the show. The government just got unshut down, and we're like, Jeffrey Epstein.
Wait a minute. You can say it over and over again. That's a crazy, absurd talking point, and I don't even know what the point of you going in that direction is. Everybody here cares about the victims. That's why we're going down this avenue to expose what went on and what is covered up. And to say this, wait. You said it 3 times. To say this is about the Democrats not taking action.
You didn't do anything.
Wait a minute. This administration came out with Pam Bondi, paraded her out and said, the file is on my desk and I'm going to open it to all of you. Kash Patel, same thing. Nothing is coming out.
A lot's come out. That's not true.
I'm sorry.
A lot has come out.
Yeah, because Democrats are pulling it out and Republicans are pulling it out. He who doth protest too much has something to hide.
Stacey, I want to get you on this because I think this is important. A few months ago, the Deputy Attorney General interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes.
She said this when asked, well, in the context of this interview about Donald Trump. Listen to what she said.
I think they were friendly, like people are in social settings. I don't think they were close friends, or I certainly never witnessed the president in any of, I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance.
So, okay, she just said that.
Yeah.
She's been moved to a lower security prison.
Yes.
Based on the emails that presumptively the DOJ has in their possessions, that would be a lie.
It looks like a flat out lie. So there's no secret that she's seeking a pardon. Todd Blanche can now fly back to Texas in the lower security prison she's been moved in and ask her a very key question that came out from the emails today, which we showed at the beginning of the show, which is from Epstein. Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Stop what? Maybe Todd Blanche should march back to Ghislaine, who is willing to speak with him, she says, and so do her lawyers, and ask him, what did Trump ask to have stopped?
Can I just say this? Look, let's put this in context and think about when this was happening. Everybody knew, all of those men, all of those powerful men that would attend the Epstein dinners, that would go to his house, that he would hang out with in Mar-a-Lago or in Palm Beach, they all knew what he was doing. Donald Trump knew what Epstein was doing. He has
Bill
said
Clinton.
so. He has said, Bill Clinton knew what, I think everybody knew what he was doing. And it was a different time in America. Let's remember this was before the Me Too movement. Listen, Alex Acosta, who was the U.S. attorney in Southern Florida that gave Epstein the sweetheart deal in 2008, was confirmed and vetted for labor secretary under Trump's first term. He was, and then this wasn't a huge issue, as it should have been. The Me Too movement was in 2017. The expose in the Miami Herald by Julie K. Brown, Perversion of Justice, was in 2018. That put the heat right back on Jeffrey Epstein. But before that, people knowing that he had already served time under that sweetheart deal were still hanging out with him. And I'll tell you what I think
Donald Trump, serious question, was Donald Trump hanging out with him after he served time?
They actually had a falling out over a real estate deal. And Jeffrey Epstein always thought...
Hold on, simple question. Did they hang out after he went to prison? The answer is no.
Okay, did they hang out enough
no.
for Donald Trump to know that Jeffrey Epstein was with
Enough
young
that
girls?
he clearly says he's a creep and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago? I agree. He found out and got rid of him.
The guy says that he wasn't a member of Mar-a-Lago.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Are you going to trust the pedophile or are you going to trust Donald Trump?
I don't trust either of those two guys.
That's on you. But I mean...
The question raised was whether these positions are essentially the same, and when pressed, Ben Ferguson avoided acknowledging any overlap. While he often aligns closely with former President Trump's talking points, he's unlikely to concede that publicly during a live panel discussion. His commentary frequently mirrors the former president's narrative, which is why his responses tend to follow a consistent pattern when these topics arise.
You can't have it both ways.
Because Donald Trump has never lied before.
Guys, give me 1 second
Donald
here.
Trump has never lied before.
That traffic girls,
Ben
young
and
girls.
Anna.
And a guy who boasted about sexual
the
assault,
administration says
and a
they
guy
don't trust the
who's
pedophile
been
because they trust
convicted
the
of
ladies.
34 counts.
No one can hear you. No one can
True.
hear you. Okay? That's why I'm asking you to settle down. Kevin is sitting here like a church mouse in the corner.
No, I love
not
chaos.
saying a
I
word.
love chaos. I love chaos.
Kevin, listen.
I love it. I love chaos.
The White House, you're a smart guy. The White House, they convene a Situation Room meeting. They bring Lauren Boebert over to the White House to try to strong-arm her into not voting to release the Epstein files. If this is a nothing burger, as Ben is suggesting, why are they acting so aggressively to shut this whole thing down? Why not say, actually, let's release the Epstein files. You're not going to find anything in here that incriminates the president.
So let's just look at facts, because, I mean, everybody has a political position on this. Epstein's still dead tonight, still dead. All the people that have been really hurt by this actually were caught lying in a scandal, including a member of the royal family who was stripped of his titles, all that.
Say that again? All the people that were really hurt?
Yeah.
The people that were really hurt are the women, Kevin.
Yeah, and I'm
The
not
young girls.
I don't think having
who want
sex.
closure and want truth and want transparency.
Finish, or are you got something
Yeah,
more to
but
say?
the people hurt is not
Thank
Prince Andrew.
goodness you're here.
Hold on.
No, but that's ridiculous for you to say that the person hurt is Prince Andrew.
Kevin, is that what you were?
I'm trying to finish a
say?
thought. Work with me on this, okay?
Make sense though, please.
No, I'm going to help you so much tonight. So at the end of the day,
Good luck with that.
What we care about here is don't have sex with young girls. That's bad. If you did that,
just to be clear, having sex with young girls is not
illegal.
Sex. It is rape.
And if you did it, you should go to jail. Okay? Insinuating this on everybody, that anybody had anything to do with Epstein, that everybody involved had sex with young girls, is a falsehood. Now, those that did it, by the time this is over, are screwed. And they should be screwed. And there are victims. But at the end of the day, so much of this, as you've just seen here tonight, is completely political.
Kevin.
The panel cuts away briefly to footage of former President Trump signing the measure to reopen the government, and that's where the debate really pivots. Kevin O'Leary's appearance and commentary immediately drew attention, not for theatrics, but for the contrast between his confident delivery and the substance of his claims. Abby Phillip opened by calling him a smart guy, but based on his repeated appearances, many viewers might question that. He often illustrates how wealth is sometimes mistaken for expertise. One moment that stood out was his response to the discussion about victims in the Epstein case. O'Leary initially referenced individuals like Prince Andrew, prompting Ana Navarro to firmly remind him that the real victims are the women whose experiences are at the center of the investigation. Her pushback highlighted a recurring dynamic. When challenged, O'Leary tends to minimize key points before conceding them. Meanwhile, the conservative commentators, Ben Ferguson and others, returned to a familiar pattern. Rather than engaging with the core questions, they repeatedly shifted the conversation toward President Biden, a move that mirrors long-standing political deflection strategies. Abby Phillip's real-time fact-checking kept the discussion grounded, cutting through attempts to redirect the narrative. At the end of the day, most observers agree on one thing: transparency is essential. Many Americans, across the political spectrum, want the full records released so the public can understand the complete picture. Let me know where you stand on this debate. Do you agree more with Abby Phillip and Ana Navarro, or with the conservative commentators on the panel? Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Insights Brief, and I'll see you in the next one.